The invitation rested on my scratched kitchen counter, its elegant cream paper and gold-embossed script clashing with the faded linoleum. Jason Carter and Sarah Miller cordially invite you to their engagement celebration. It felt less like a warm request and more like a mandatory summons, a directive I couldn't dodge. My younger brother Jason, the family's shining star, was tying the knot, and I, Michael Carter, the 32-year-old family letdown, was expected to show up and play my role. A familiar pang tightened my chest, like a rusty wire coiling around my heart. 10 years had passed since I abandoned medical school, yet the sting of failure still burned, etched into me like a permanent scar. I could still smell the sharp, choking scent of formaldehyde from the dissection lab, a smell that once promised ambition but later became the stench of my own entrapment. I remembered standing in my father's, Richard's, oak-lined office, the words "I can't keep going" bitter on my tongue. His response wasn't the outburst I'd expected. Instead, it was a silence, heavy and cold as a marble slab. That silence lingered for weeks, broken only by his stern declarations that I'd squandered a rare chance, that I'd disrespected their sacrifices. His study, usually rich with the scent of aged books and the faint polish of achievement, felt like a tribunal where I was sentenced to eternal mediocrity. My mother, Susan, responded with theatrical sobs, her voice echoing through the house's thin walls as she spoke to her sisters on the phone, her tone hushed but piercing. Michael's lost, just drifting. Her signature line, delivered with a trembling hand to her heart, was, "Oh, Michael, we're so worried about your future." Each word was followed by a sigh that seemed to drain the air from the room, as if my future was a desolate wasteland of her own creation. She never asked what I envisioned for myself, only grieved the path they'd mapped out for me. While I floundered, Jason thrived. A business degree from an elite university, a high-flying finance career, a glossy condo with a skyline view that screamed success. Family gatherings, when I could bear them, became stages for Jason's latest victories. One Christmas stood out sharply. The aroma of pine and roasted turkey, usually comforting, turned stifling. Jason unwrapped a gleaming, exorbitant watch from Dad, who slapped his shoulder, voice booming, "That's my son, conquering the world." Earlier, I'd shared a tentative idea for a tech initiative to connect communities with local services. Dad gave a curt nod, saying, "Good to stay occupied, Michael." The subtext was clear: hobbies, not a real career. Jason, ever the dutiful brother, offered patronizing tips masked as concern about getting serious. His own path so assured, he couldn't fathom another. The years after med school were a haze of cramped apartments reeking of instant ramen and quiet despair. Odd jobs kept me afloat but eroded my spirit. The question gnawed at me in the dark: were they right? Am I a failure? Their disappointment was a tangible weight, a shroud I couldn't shake. The idea for ConnectSphere didn't strike like lightning. It grew slowly, sparked by volunteering at a local support center for people with disabilities. I witnessed their daily struggles, endless red tape, barriers to healthcare, the fight for basic respect. I started small, a side hustle fueled by late-night coffee and a refusal to accept the status quo. I learned to code, building a straightforward database of accessible medical providers. My tiny apartment, lit only by my computer screen, became my refuge, the hum of my aging PC a steady companion. Then came the first message. "Your platform helped me find a doctor who gets my condition. Thank you." A warmth bloomed in me, a sense of purpose that briefly drowned out years of family scorn. At a local tech event, amidst stale pizza and a dull speaker, I met David Lin. Brilliant and driven, he saw ConnectSphere's potential when my family wouldn't. We became co-founders, our first office a cramped room above a print shop, filled with the acrid smell of ink and David's potent coffee. It was chaotic, but alive with possibility. Our haven. ConnectSphere grew quietly. 10,000 users, then 50,000. A modest grant. Nonprofits joined, and we expanded state by state. Each milestone was a quiet triumph, a counterpoint to my family's narrative of my failure. I tried sharing these wins. Once, I told Mom about a successful pilot program helping thousands. Her eyes drifted, her response distant. "That's nice, dear. Did you hear Jason's getting a big promotion? He's planning a yacht party." The deflation was instant. a cold knot in my stomach. Always back to Jason. Now, Jason's engagement dinner loomed. The family chat buzzed with excitement when he shared a photo of Sarah, her ring sparkling boldly. I typed a quick congrats and silenced the thread, their joy a world apart from mine. Dread for the dinner grew, a tightening coil in my gut. I knew the routine. I'd be the shadow to Jason's light, Dad's subtle jabs, Mom's anxious sighs, Jason's pitying smirks. That evening, staring at my closet, a spark of defiance flickered. I checked ConnectSphere's stats. 80,000 users, real people whose lives were better because of my work. A faint smile broke through. Instead of the dull suit Mom always pushed, I chose a sharp charcoal one, bought with a bonus from a tough but fulfilling contract. It fit well, made me feel strong, a small rebellion before entering their polished world. L'Étoile, the restaurant, oozed extravagance, its name dripping with the grandeur my parents loved. Handing my keys to the valet, I caught whiffs of costly perfume and gourmet dishes. Inside, crystal clinked softly, voices murmured, silver scraped against fine china. The maitre d' seemed to size up my worth. My collar tightened as I spotted my family at a central table, a perfect display of unity. Dad, Richard, held forth, charming Sarah's parents with tales of his own success. Mom fussed over Sarah, adjusting her flawless hair. Jason, the young titan, radiated confidence in a suit worth more than my old car, a smug grin on his face. "Michael, you made it," Dad said, his handshake brief, eyes already seeking someone more notable. "Don't make a scene" lingered unsaid. Mom's hug was quick, laced with her lily-scented perfume now tied to family tension. "You look tidy, Michael," she said, her glance at my suit holding surprise, maybe relief. Sarah turned, offering a warm smile and a firm handshake. "Great to meet you, Michael," she said, her hazel eyes kind, a rare moment of ease in the Carter family script. The conversation, steered by my parents, orbited Jason, his latest deal, his impending vice presidency, Sarah's prestigious lineage. Each word built a wall between me and their gleaming world. When Sarah's father, Arthur, asked about my work, Dad cut in. "Michael's our dreamer," he chuckled, winking at Arthur. "Still chasing whims, right, son?" Heat crept up my neck. "I run a tech startup," I said softly, the words feeling small against their grandeur. Mom swooped in, redirecting to Jason's complex, vital work, her look saying, "This is success, Michael." Jason leaned back, smirking. "The market's brutal, but we handle it. Not everyone's built for that pressure." I bit back a retort, thinking of sleepless nights, fixing server crashes, the weight of payroll, the fear of failing my team. I stared at my plate, food tasteless. Sarah, undeterred, asked more during a pause. "Your startup helps people with disabilities access health care?" I nodded, explaining how we simplified finding specialists and resources. Before she could dig deeper, Dad waved it off. "A nice little project for Michael, keeps him busy. We're hoping he'll find something solid soon." Sarah's brow furrowed, but Mom pivoted to a loud story about Jason's childhood, shutting down my moment. A memory hit hard. Dad on the phone with his friend Henderson, his voice carrying. Michael's fiddling with his little app. Sweet, but not like Jason, who's really going somewhere. He'd been shaping my failure for others, cementing me as the family's lost cause. The sting was sharp, bitter. Toasts began. Arthur welcomed Jason warmly. Dad stood, glass raised, praising Jason as the son who never faltered, a shining example of ambition. Then his gaze softened to pity. "Not everyone finds the path so easily," he said, looking at me. "Some wander, but we support Michael as he searches for his place." The words branded me, Michael, the wanderer. Mom sniffled on cue, the table heavy with their judgment. Sarah's eyes met mine, questioning. Resignation settled in. Maybe they're right. The silence after Dad's toast was thick, glasses clinking awkwardly. I braced for more of the same. Then Sarah leaned in, her voice soft but clear. "ConnectSphere? It helps people navigate healthcare?" I nodded, surprised. "You're Michael Carter? The CEO?" A fork clattered nearby, the table falling silent. Dad froze, wineglass midair. Mom's smile vanished, her hand clutching her necklace. Jason stared, his smugness gone. Sarah's face lit up, oblivious to the tension. "Oh my gosh, it's you," she exclaimed. "ConnectSphere saved my brother, Mark, after his accident. It's a lifeline for him, finding doctors, programs, community." She raved about our features. The clinic database, support forums, telehealth tools, things Dad called trivial. Our hospital wants to partner with you, she said, awestruck. You're changing lives. Warmth flooded me, disorienting, like I'd stepped into someone else's story. Dad's face paled. Mom's eyes welled. Jason gaped. Sarah, unaware of the bomb she'd dropped, continued. Mark overheard some rich guy, Henderson, I think, at a gala, dismissing the ConnectSphere founder. Said his other son was just tinkering with a charity app, not like his finance star brother, Carter. The name hit like a punch. Henderson, Dad's friend. That overheard call made sense now. They'd been spreading my failure, guarding their pride. Little app cut deep. Dad flushed, then paled. Mom whimpered, We didn't know, Michael. The table was a void of stunned silence. I looked at them, Dad, Mom, Jason, and spoke calmly. ConnectSphere has 80,000 users across 15 states. We work with 3 state agencies and have national nonprofits waiting. We closed a major funding round last quarter. The facts stood tall. The room shifted. The rest of the dinner was tense, a wreckage of their narrative. Sarah's parents asked about ConnectSphere with respect. Dad was quiet. Mom stammered apologies. Jason sulked. I left early, their goodbyes strained. The air felt lighter, their shadow lifting.